Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Sandeep Walia, Head of the Department, University Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Chandigarh University. Today we are going to discuss about the module Tourism Products, Economy, Population, Transportation and Communication under the paper Tourism Products of India. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand about the Indian economy. The students will also become to know about the national income trends. The students will also be aware about the Indian economy in recent past. The students will also be able to get knowledge about transportation systems in India, their significance, forms and recent developments. They will also know about meaning, scope, components, measures and sources of population data. Dear students, tourism has an important role to play in any economy, more so in the Indian economy. It not only contributes to the eco-well-being of the population but also helps in moving towards a more innovative economy. Thus, the basic understanding of the Indian economy and its infrastructure, which includes transport and communication, and the population existing in the economy, outlines the picture of the economy as a whole, wherein tourism plays a vital role in generating revenue for the Indian economy. Let us discuss about the Indian economy first. India's economy had suffered a long period of stagnation under British rule. Almost all important characteristics features of an underdeveloped economy were present. These features included inequitable distribution of income, low per capita income and predominance of agriculture, low level of human development, high incidence of poverty, unemployment, rapid population growth and high dependency ratio, scarcity of capital, technological backwardness and lack of entrepreneurs. However, after independence, this long spell of stagnation was broken. With the beginning of economic planning, an era of economic development was ushered in. Initially, it is worthwhile to have an idea about the development of India's national and per capita in its different facets. Let us now discuss about national income trends. Rise in the net national product. Over a period of 63 years, the average rate of growth of national income was around 4.7% per annum. However, if this growth rate is judged keeping in view prolonged period of stagnation that preceded independence, it was no small achievement. However, during the 22nd year period, the rate of increase in national income improved to 6.4% per annum, which is quite satisfactory. During 10th and 11th plan, the average growth rate has been 7.5% and 7.8% per annum respectively. In fact, during some of the recent years in the last decade, India was the second fastest growing economy and presently it is the fastest growing economy with 7.9% growth in 2015-16 and 7.1% in 2016-17. Rise in per capita income. An increase in per capita income is considered to be a better index of growth than net national product. In 1950-51, India's per capita income at 2004-05 was Rs 7,513. Since then, in a period of 65 years, it has risen to 41,255 rupees in 2011-12 and at 2011-12 prices was 77,431 in 2015 and 16. Per capita income rose at the rate of 5.9% per annum in the 10th plan and 6.0% per annum in the 11th 5-year plan. Significant changes in sectoral distribution of domestic product. A consistent fall in the importance of agriculture and allied activities in the economy in terms of its contribution to the GDP is an important index of development. Over the first 2 decades of planning period, no company trend was realized and the share of agriculture and allied activities in the GDP fluctuate between 53.1 and 42.2%. The share of industries in the gross domestic product stood at 27.3% in 2012-13. The service sectors include trade, transport, communication, finance, insurance, business, community and social service etc. Its share was 58.8% of GDP in 2012-13. Thus, there is an important change in the sectorial distribution of GDP. Let us discuss about slow changes in employment structure. As a feature of growing economy, occupational distribution of population continuously changed in favor of the industrial sector and services, which was a result of fall in the significance of agriculture, from which transfer to other sectors take place. The asymmetry between the income and employment share amongst sectors has sharply declined. If the trend of relatively higher employment growth in manufacturing and service witnessed in recent years continue, one can perhaps hope that the imbalances can be rectified. Let us now discuss about growth of basic capital infrastructure industries. At the time of independence, basic capital goods industries showed the backwardness. Under the second plan, more priority was given to capital goods industry. This strategy continued for nearly 2.5 decades. This led to setting up of a large number of basic industries which were capable of producing capital equipment. Accordingly, the country's industrial structure became pretty strong in the form of large industries such as heavy chemicals, iron and steel, heavy engineering, machining tools, locomotives, etc. Let us now discuss about Indian economy in recent past. According to Central Statistic Organization and International Monetary Fund, the Indian economy has shown a trend of fastest growing economy. The Economic Survey 2015-16 shows that the Indian economy will endure to grow more than 7% in 2016 and 17. Let us take on the initiatives by government. Different government initiatives like Digital in Make in India have made many foreign companies for setting up their facilities in India. Mr. Narendra Modi, Honorable Prime Minister of India, has started the Make in India initiative with the goal of boosting the manufacturing sector of the nation's economy, which is predicted to raise the purchasing power of an average customer, leading to an increase in demand and thus encourage development and also provide benefit to the investors. Government initiative of Digital India focuses on three key components: delivering services digitally, to increase the digital literacy, and creation of digital infrastructure. At present, the manufacturing sector in India contributes over 15% of the GDP, which is aimed at to increase up to 25% of GDP through the Make in India initiative. For this, several plans have been made for investment in India. The Indian government has started an initiative to develop 100 smart cities as well as Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation for 500 cities with an outlay of Rs 48,000 crore and Rs 50,000 crore. Smart cities are satellite towns of larger cities that will include digitally connected and have modern infrastructure. The program was officially launched in the year June 25, 2015. The Part 1 for Smart City Kochi will be constructed on a total area of 6,50,000 square feet that would have a floor space of greater than 10 lakh square feet. Let us discuss about infrastructure. While prosperity of a country directly depends upon developments in the fields of agriculture and industry, the all-around development of any economy depends in the long run on its progress in providing infrastructural facilities. These infrastructure facilities, usually referred to as social and economic overheads, consists of the availability of transport facilities, shipping and civil aviation, energy and non-conventional sources, communications, insurance, science and technology, banking, finance, social overheads. The next is communication. Communication means the transmission of information necessary for development of commerce, industries and trade in country, which differs from transportation, which is a mean of conveyance of goods. Yet, a close link exists between communication and transport, as all tangible communications can be sent by transport. An enhancement in communication facilities helps to speed up transport, while improvements in transport enhances communications. The important means of communication include telephone services, radio postal services and television, internet, etc. Let us discuss about postal services. The Indian postal network is the largest in the world. However, the beginning of postal system in India dates back to the year 1837. The 5-year plan contributed to successive expansion of postal network. The number of post offices increased from 23,344 since independence to 1,55,866 as per 2011. Three main means are used for this purpose are postcards, inland letters and envelopes. The service covers all state capital, headquarters and of all union territories and important commercial towns. Mechanizations and computerizations of postal operations is done regularly, so provide better services to the customers. Let us discuss about transportation system in India, significance, forms and recent developments. In the present times, transportation plays a very crucial role. It is important for sustainable economic growth of the nation and global integration. A good transportation system helps to increase production and enhance competitiveness of the economy and also boost the economy of the country. There are different types of modes of transport like water transport, rail transport and air transport. Let us now discuss about Indian roadways. India's roadways are amongst the largest in the world, comprising of expressways, district roads, national highways, state roads and various village roads which play an important and dominant role in the transport system of India. These are one of the most pocket-friendly and ignorable means of transportation which play a key role in the lives of the people for travelling here and there. As they play a significant role in the connectivity of the various states, cities, districts, etc., the state highways connect the major cities of the state and the state capitals. District roads connect with the village roads and the village roads further connect with the other roads which allows the residents to access areas for their daily needs. The roadways encourage the socio-economic development as it facilitates the movement of men and material and also allows connectivity to other means of transport such as airways, railways, shipping, etc. The roads have developed drastically over the years across the length and breadth of the country, making it the largest road network in the world. The roadways have emerged to be the most dominant mode of transport and are recorded to have an 80% share in the passenger transport and 60% share in the freight transport. Special Accelerated Road Development Program. Special Assistant Road Development Program originated to improve and develop the connectivity of the roads with district headquarters, state capitals and far off places in the northeast part or the regions of the country. It helped in linking 85 district headquarters in the northeast states and the state roads and national highways. Let us now discuss about rail transport. In India, railways are the responsibility of the central government. They own and manage the railways. Let us now discuss about features of rail transport. These are as follows. These are the most appropriate mode for transporting heavy goods. A good value for money in case of long distances. Regularity in the train intervals. It contributes to a better environment by eliminating pollution as it runs on electricity. For maintaining uniformity, the rates are fixed by the government. The Indian Railways. Railways have continued to be a predominant mode of transport in India. It has proved to be the largest network managed by a single unit and having the largest employers. The railways are owned by the state and operated by the Ministry of Railways, which is the largest public sector enterprise. In today's time, it has successfully completed around 150 glorious years. Let us discuss about some recent developments in this sector. It extends to an area of 63,221 km, being the largest network and providing employment to about 1.4 million people in the country. The major technological growth in last few years includes introduction to the new tracks in the country, development of an efficient locomotive system, improvement of the service provided to the passengers, more goals like internet and satellite phone service yet to be achieved, various advanced Safety features are introduced to protect accidents, and luxury have been added to various coaches in trains. Also, long distance trains with speed and comfort have been made, like the Shatabdi Express and the Rajdhani Express. Let us discuss about the various steps to advance the systems and technology to improve the standards and better management. The next one is the water transport. India's coastline is surrounded by the Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean, which makes it a long coastline. Water transport helps to carry heavy goods and the passenger to varied places, may it be within or outside the country. The above are the characteristics of water transport. It plays a crucial role in global trade. Relatively a cost-efficient means of transport for heavy goods, and is in terms of infrastructure, maintenance and development. The next is shipping transport. Shipping transportation is the process of moving people, goods, etc. by ship or sailboat over a lake, canal, sea, ocean, river, etc. Shipping plays a crucial role in the transportation sector of India's economy. Other than transportation of national and international cargo, Indian maritime sector facilitates also offers a variety of other services such as shipbuilding and ship repairing, cargo handling services, lighthouse facilities, freight forwarding and training of marine personnel. In the modern times, there have been development and advancement in sea transport, which has greatly influenced the global trade. The demand for shipping is very high across the globe. Shipping Corporation of India is India's biggest company in present times and owned by the Government of India. Let us discuss about air transport. Air transport is the fastest means of transportation. India's air transport is among the fastest developing aviation sectors of the world. The following are the various features of air transport. It is the quickest and modern means of transportation. Air transportation is very expensive because of high operating cost of aeroplanes. It provides efficient, quick and comfortable transport service, absence of physical hassles, an important role to play in national defense of the country. The chances of accidents are greater in air transport as there is high risk involved. Aviation sector. Air transport is amongst one of the fastest means of transportation. Travel by air is becoming popular nowadays. Because of its speed, it also saves times and no tiredness is involved while traveling to long distances. It is not affordable for everyone as it is very costly in price. Airlines is one of the efficient and fastest modes of transport. Air Sahara, Air Deccan and Jet Airways are the few to name. Let us now discuss about the development in air transport. Indian Airways has shown a continuous tremendous growth in the past liberalization era. The following are the developments in the aviation industry of India. The public sector is no more wholly responsible for the development and maintenance of airports, as participation of private sector is encouraged and allowed. International airports are being set up in Goa, Hyderabad and Bangalore with collaboration with the private companies. Travel agents with the help of internet are now growing and transforming as a significant mode for ticketing and other travel related services. Let us now discuss about the significance or the importance of transport. For overall economic development, transport plays a significant role through growth of infrastructure, industrialization and massive production. Advancement of comfort and convenience is a result of advancement in the transport sector. The basis for social well-being of societies and economic prosperity is well-functioning transportation systems. Various factors to be noticed in the context to the aviation industry are: the first one is the growth of the industry. Both transportation and industrial development are interrelated to each other. Since transportation plays an important role in the development of industry, without improved transport, it is harder for the industries producers to sell their products and to the desired target markets. As transport improves the efficiency of the industry. The second one is the employment generation. There is a huge requirement of employees in the transportation industry as it employs a large number of people and create huge number of jobs, which helps in the growth of the economy. Both direct and indirect jobs are created. It also facilitates the movement of the labor. The next is the creation of place utility. Transport facilities motivates the movement of goods from the producers to the final consumers, wherever and whenever they are required. Therefore, transport creates place utility. Then the next is the reduction of distance barriers between countries. Every nation in the world is not self-sufficient because they rely on the depend on each other to fulfill their needs. Transportation has played a crucial role in minimizing the gap and also creates the requirement of the mobility and also offers convenience and comfort. People all across the globe travel to various parts of the world for different purposes like vacation, business, education, etc., which is only possible because of development of transportation. The next one is the other purposes. Transportation also offers access to different natural resources and also benefit in trade, allows a country gather power and wealth with the help of transportation of equipments, supplies during war, soldiers, etc. Therefore, transportation plays a crucial role in country's economy as it helps in different purposes. It comprises of distribution and manufacture of vehicles, distribution of fuel, etc. Let us now discuss about the introduction to demography, meaning scope, components, measures and sources of population data. The scientific study of population is called demography. Demographers seek to know the levels and trends in population size and its components. They use census, birth and death records, surveys, visa records, even motor vehicle and school registrations. They shape these data into manageable forms as simple counts, rates or ratios. Here, demo means people and graphy means to draw or write. So literally, demography means to write about people. The word is used in 1855 by Achille Gouliard, mathematically knowledge of a general movement and a physical, social, moral and intellectual condition of population. Demography, according to UNO, demography is the scientific study of human populations primarily with respect to their size, their structure and their development. According to Thomas and Lewis, demography is interested not only in size, composition and distribution of population at the present time, but also in changes in these aspects through time and the causes of these changes. Scope may be seen as the analysis of the size of the population. Then the second is the composition of population. The third one is the distribution of population. Then the next is the factors affecting change in population. Then there is population policy. Let us now discuss about its advantages. The first one is political, for voters, caste or concentrations. Economic, for growth, poverty or resources. Planning, human resource and infrastructure planning. In social, for school, hospitals or for roads. In terms of advantages to administer for planning purpose. Components, composition of population like for ethnic, age, sex, also how many are non-citizens. Then the next is distribution, that is percentage of rural, percentage of urban, percentage of suburban, also how many citizens live overseas. Then in terms of growth, rapid growth, slow growth or population decline. Dear students, let us now summarize what we have discussed in this module. The economic importance of tourism extends well beyond core hospitality and transportation sectors. Tourism economics offers a rigorous methodology and compelling communication to raise the profile of tourism as an economy engine. Tourism economics benefits tourism through supply chain and economic gains by way of a comprehensive outstanding of the economy. The infrastructural facilities, which include transport and means of communication, prove to be an important variable to enhance the profitability of tourism sector. The transportation system has been made easy to reach the destinations. Economic prosperity helps in development of hotel industry and encourages means of transport and communication. The population density, ratio, size and dividend provides the view to target market which would enhance tourism activity. And with these words, I sum up this module. Thank you.